also have to know that they are going to be dealing with people in Africa who are stressed. Why do you think African people would be stressed at this time? What would be stressing Africans? Anyone?
AIDS.
AIDS.
Water.
Poverty, water. Violence.
War.
War. Yes. So all those things are stressing them. So whenever you're working with them, know that those things will be looming in the background, and that the leader who would be selecting needs to know that those things are happening. And in order to empower those people, you have to pay attention to those things. They have to train themselves to be resilient too. These traumatic changes also need that leader to learn how to work collaboratively. The other stress you missed out to mention in Africa is the stress women go through, both here in the West or in the South, where, especially in the South, people may think a woman shouldn't be working outside the home. A woman cannot lead. A woman cannot go to parliament. A woman cannot lead an NGO. A woman cannot lead a for-profit organization. So, if those are the challenges, then you need to equip the woman to face that challenge and find allies who can support her in her leadership. Otherwise, leadership can isolate and can be very difficult. Many times when our leaders work, they think that because they have been set up in an NGO to be a leader, people will just follow in tow. People don't want that anymore. The stress, again, that we have in the world today, especially in the global south, is the stress of corruption. Some of that corruption is done not because people are bad, but there are so many needs for very little money. So you are dealing with an NGO with a very good leader, and you give them a grant, and you find that they bought food instead of buying the computer they told you they were going to buy. You get upset and you think they are vague, they don't know what they're doing. These people, you know, like they haven't kept to their strategy, they haven't kept to their goals. I won't give them any more money, they have stolen my money. Or they have dug a water well, they have dug a well. The question you should be asking is, why did they dig a well? As many of you know, an African woman spends her day doing three major things: looking for water, looking for firewood, and looking for food, let alone cooking it. So if you find that an NGO has done that, you ask different questions and find out why did that happen. So it needs a leader who can be flexible and ask questions instead of drawing conclusions, but also ask questions of corruption and start teaching methodologies to leaders to lead very differently. Remember, the people who are rising into leadership have even gone to school using those corrupt methodologies. So how do you tell them it is not the right way, it is not kosher to do things that way? A good NGO leader needs also to invest in staff development and enhance job satisfaction. Staff need to be developed. They are just not there as already made up material. They need to learn new skills to tackle new problems. And you cannot just, during the probation period of a leader in an organization or of staff, your job is not to watch them. It is for you to listen to them and know what do they lack in order to do their work, so that I can help them fulfill that task. So, a successful leader has a wide knowledge base, able to work in multicultural teams with different backgrounds, communicate and run negotiations very well, work with individual stakeholders, hold different networks be the face of the NGO and hold the values of the NGO that they may be representing. Because leadership is the greatest asset for organizations, and many times we don't even spend a lot of time developing it. So, an NGO leader knows that in today's world, knows that you are not just going to be there with matters as usual, going through the process. I'm the leader, you're the followers. They need to lead collaboratively. They should know that we have to bring people with skills to the table so that we can share. We can share with these people, we can learn with these people, we can learn from these people. It is not like a person who is the admin in the organization doesn't know anything, but myself as the leader knows all. No, it has moved. It becomes more circular. Conflicts in the world also call for a different type of leader. We have a lot of conflicts now in our world. They are man-made or human-made or they are natural. I just came from Haiti, and many NGOs in Haiti, the local NGOs have just been ignored. And what I was doing with them was to ask them questions. Why do you think the international NGOs are ignoring you? I didn't have the answers. And you know what? What do you think their answer was?
They didn't know.
Yeah, many of them were traumatized, so they didn't know. And some of them knew. They were like, you know, we are not united ourselves on the ground. And I said, so what do we do so that you get united? And they said, you know, our office fell and we don't know what to do. And myself, I said, if you want to be united, you don't only take one NGO goes and opens a door there, another NGO opens another door there. What do we do? Why don't we open one office and 10 NGOs have that as their office so that they can gain visibility to the international community? And they're doing that now, and now they are at the table of World Food Aid and all those types of groups. So many times, instead of drawing conclusions, ask a lot of questions. A good NGO leader must do an environmental scan. What is happening in the environment now? What is happening with the youth, for example, in today's world? What are the changes that are happening in our world today? So if I'm a leader today, I should be asking questions around the voices of the youth, the wars in the world, diseases that are killing families and bringing stresses in the office place, and many technology and how it is influencing leadership today. So that leader needs to open and do a lot of scanning to say, I'm being placed in this NGO, what are the things? What are the values that we need to bring up? A leader in the South has to say, one of the values is anti-corruption. One of the values is we are a community that can help deal with the disease that is killing most of us. We are a community, we are leaders that need to speak to the issue of war in our country. All these conflicts in the world, how can people resolve conflicts positively instead of taking up arms? It has to question who sells the arms to the Africans. Do they make them themselves? Where do these weapons come from? Those are the leaders of today. They need to learn that. They need to know technology is influencing community. Many other things are influencing the community, and they need to have knowledge of that. If they do not have, they get trained in that. They must be active listeners. Many leaders spend a lot of time talking. I had, I did, I hear, you know, like, and giving a lot of useless knowledge. They don't